Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Good morning, kiddos. Old Cappy here. Oh, just got up. Finally got some good sleep. Ooh. Alright, this is going to be a lengthy one. And I kind of organized it a little bit, took some notes here. So let's go ahead and get to it. Hey, Cappy, returning client here. As you know, I just recently got out of a relationship with a girl a couple months ago. We met on Tinder. I'm now in the market again as a 24-year-old chemical engineer. I've been using Tinder and Bumble. I've gotten a sprinkle of dates, but nothing that is so far stuck. I'm 5'6". Well, there's your first mistake. And I'm kidding. It's obviously you don't control your height, but that's going to be, in your specific case, that's going to be a significant drawback. Because girls just like tall guys. Don't get angry at them about it. That's just how it is. So that may explain a lot of the troubles you run into, and a lot of this may be moot in comparison to that. And in good shape in case this information helps. Make this a video request since others may need this advice as well. If you need additional information, let me know. Thanks, Anonymous. Alright, so I've broken it down into two parts here. First, the mental or philosophical approach you should have when young men date women, or any guy, frankly, in today's world. Because I don't really believe in saying, we're going to do X, but don't do C, but, then you do A, but not Q. Because without understanding the mental philosophy and the mentality that you need to have, it's robotic. You don't understand why, and then you truly don't understand what. Well, one, it won't answer, giving you these specific policy statements. It won't answer every possible situation. I have to come up with every possible situation. But if you understand the philosophy, or the strategy, or the mentality, then you not only can handle pretty much every situation, but you understand why, and you'll have much more success than merely being robotic following out a script. So the first part is this philosophical approach. The second part is the policy, where I say, okay, don't do this, but do that. Do this, but not that. Because it would be good to have some policies at least derived from it. So at least have some of the main rules. But it is important to have this mental philosophy. So, in short, I'll go through individual mental philosophies you'll need here. But in general, you cannot put women first in your life if you want to date them. Which sounds contradictory. It doesn't make any sense. Like, well, Aaron, if I want to go for a bike ride, I should hop on a bike and go for a bike ride. Right, but women are different. I believe this has always been the case. And it's part biology and part economics. But also in part opportunity costs. How you essentially get the women is by focusing on yourself and improving yourself to the best that you can. Read You're Just a Bland Drink. It's an article I wrote where young men in particular, guys your age, especially when you're a late teenager, early 20-something, you offer nothing. you offer nothing. Yes, you do offer something. You are maybe you're a good-looking guy and you got a future, but compared to an accomplished 32-year-old who has his act together, his career's going up, he maybe bought a house, maybe he is making upwards of 80 to 100,000. The 19-year-old, nice and good as he may be, is not comparable to the accomplished 32-year-old. And so what a lot of young men do, foolishly in hindsight, but it makes sense at the time, is you chase the girls. You go to the bars, you go to the nightclubs, and you present them something they really don't want. They're really not that attracted to. Yeah, you might get laid. Yeah, they might like you. But by and far, they're not looking for old Pippi there, who's 20 years old, drives a piece of junk car, and has student loan debts and lives on a couch at his buddy's place. All right, so they want something more than that. So that means you got to work on yourself. You got to become that 32-year-old, and it may be that many years before all of a sudden you can start presenting what women want as a slightly older man in your late 20s. So you can chase girls. I'm not saying if there's not a cute girl not to ask her out or anything like that. But you should not make it your priority in life. Because where the opportunity cost comes in is if you don't improve yourself, you'll never long-term get a girl. You'll never long-term find a girl, quality ones anyway. You gotta go hit the gym. You gotta go get a good career. You gotta be in shape. You gotta have a devastating personality. You have to have some stuff going on, and that does not form if you are chasing girls. Chasing girls does not improve you. I'll take it back. I will say this. In one regard, chasing girls does help you if you really actually chase them and ask them out, and that is you get rid of your rejection or fear of rejection. Why is this still transferring data? This is the weirdest thing. There we go. But by and large, you want to spend most of your time improving yourself and not on women. A lot of people, the MGTOWs, which I disagree with on a lot of things, they'll say get women off the list entirely. I say simply reprioritize them. Because I'm no fool. I know you boys like the girls. In your program to put them number one. Pursue them your entire life. But do not pursue them. Pursue yourself. Make yourself the most important thing of your work. And then down the road, not today or tomorrow, but down the road, women will start not really approaching you, but you'll start having more success with women. Another thing, mentally, philosophically speaking, is you got to realize, just like you boys, girls are equally clueless in their 20s. In part because of the way nature works. They have all their beauty and power when they're in their younger 20s. They do not have anyone who has taught them how to use it and control it. They think that they're just that awesome and they don't make the connection that's their beauty. Some do, but it's the instance where, strippers or prostitutes or whatever, they don't save up no money because they think it's going to go on forever. It's like, no, you got to save your money. But then there are some strippers, and ran into one or two of them back in my youth, who were smart, said, yeah, I'm using this to get me through law school, back when law school maybe meant something. Or I'm using this to get my degree in engineering. And then that's the exception, not the rule. For the most part, young girls will squander their youth and beauty and not use it to secure themselves a man. If the woman didn't want to get married and have kids, or at least just get married. So keep in mind, I even remember this when I was younger. I mean, it wasn't until I was 29 or 30, I was teaching economics. And men are very unconscious about this, but you are intimidated or at least affected and influenced by women with female beauty that will blind you to their actual value. I remember this one gal, I wouldn't say I had a crush, but I was definitely interested in her until I realized what an evil, vile woman she was. And I always thought that I was the inferior. On some level, I thought, I'm not gonna. Oh, geez, if I could, I'm shooting up. I'm aiming up. And then I found out a couple things about it. I am not. I was definitely better than that person, but their youth and beauty will blind you to it. So you have to kind of check yourself in that, and again, make sure that they're not the goal. You are the goal, and then therefore, they become the goal. But also understand how you can be influenced by their beauty. Now, another thing. There is very little training young women get today on how to control that beauty, how to cash in on it. Like I said, going back to the percentage of strippers that actually save the money, are aware that they will lose it and aware they got to cash it in. And that, I'm still to this day amazed that some gals don't understand menopause and wait until they're, in their late 30s to start thinking about having kids. But very few women today are trained in these realities, in the responsibility of their youth and beauty, and the power that comes with it and how to cash in on it long term. They are also not trained, I've said it before, I'll say it again, women are trained at best to be your competitor in this world, and at worst your sworn enemy. There is no what do men want. There is no, oh, he wants a nice wife that'll make him his. It really is simple what guys want. It really is. Balls empty, stomach full, be nice, be thin. I mean, it's not that hard. But even those four things, those four little simple things, they're not interested in that. They're not. Now, on a biological level, genetic level, women are. Most women do want to have kids. And I do feel sorry for women today in one regard, and that is there's a huge amount of conflict and confusion between what their bodies are telling them, what they want, what they genetically have been programmed to want, what their instincts are telling them, and then what society tells them. Predominantly through feminism, but you go girl, your career is more important. Basically putting a career and work and taxes and commute ahead of the love and company and compassion of a man, if you had a husband, and your children, of your fellow human being. And so biology is not winning in this one. It'll win in the long term, but at the age in your 20s, the majority of women, not all of them, but the majority of women are definitely more subscribed to having a career first, maybe a family, and a husband second, but they gotta go get their master's degrees. They gotta go work. They just really kick that can down the road till a lot of times now it's too late for them. But when you go out and date, if you're starting to wonder, like, well, just why are they mean? Why are they not showing up? Why are they not mature? And why are they acting a certain way? Once you get past, the beauty goggles, when you get past the beauty goggles, you start seeing their behaviors, and you're going to start noticing this is not love. This is not fun. This is drama. This is petty politics. This is it's not moving anywhere. It's pulling teeth. Keep in mind, because they have not been trained to look at you as the prize. They are more occupied with other things, namely their career, having fun. I mean, just look at television or media today, movies, and what we tell them. And we openly ridicule and deride June Cleaver, where that's viewed as inferior. Hillary Clinton says, "Well, I wasn't exactly at home baking cookies," as if there was something wrong with being a mom. A reliable one that actually raised the children. So they are philosophically not aligned with you on many levels, which will cause confusion. Where you're like, why did she? Oh, sorry. Why is she acting this? Well, because she's probably doesn't find you that attractive, especially because you're in your younger 20s, but also that's not their number one thing in life. That's not at the forefront of their mind. So you have to understand that. We talked about you being a bland drink. Long term. You are the prize. That's along the same thing of you focus on self-improvement. You are the prize. You are always the prize. And a lot of people misconstrue that. That doesn't mean like you're the best thing ever, and it's not a statement of ego or arrogance, because that is how you get the girl. And dude, being the prize means you got to work your ass off. You got to hit the gym. You got to diet. You got to go to school. You got to get a career. You got to work hard and be so. But that is you and your self improvement is the prize, and that is how you then get the girls. Yeah, and so overall, the philosophy is one where you should view it not as how do I get the girls, but is this a good return on investment of my time? It's time investment, time management. Am I going to get something out of this? Right? Because imagine if you chased girls, if that was the number one thing you spent your time on, from puberty to 30, you're not going to have much of anything to show for it. You'll have a bunch of drunken nights. You'll have a bunch of ticket stubs, or those armbands that you get when you go to a nightclub so they know you're 21, you can drink. Yeah, that is not going to help you get the girls in the long run. Maybe some one night stands, but that's not going to help you get the girls in the long run. So there's that. All right, now specific policies. Again, in no particular order, but this one right off the bat. Go to the gym. Okay, do not go to the club. Go to the gym. Women want a strong. We could talk about all of these socio-political, psychological issues young men and women have today, but you still have to deliver what they want. All right, and that is go to the gym. That is probably the hardest one because going to the gym sucks. Lifting weights is boring and it sucks. But women like stronger, taller men. If you're 5'6" or short in general, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. So improve yourself the best you can in this regard. But you need to go to the gym. You can't be fat. You can't be a soy boy noodle arm guy. You have to groom. You have to. I'm not saying you have to be a fashionista. But you definitely have to go to the gym and be in shape. Ask volumes of girls out until you get rid of your approach fear of asking girls out. This is another big problem I run into at Asshole Consulting. Well, how do I get the girls? I ask, well, how many girls did you ask out this week? None. Well, they're not going to approach you, boys. I know the equality and all. It's only equal when it's convenient for them and they want to be equal. Oh, we'll get equal pay. We'll get equal this. We'll get affirmative action. But whoa, working as a lineman in 23 below zero? Wait, hang on now. The draft? Hold on. Wait. Asking guys out? Oh, no. Hang on now. You need to just ask girls out. This will more so get rid of your approach and fear. It will also practice in your delivery. You'll develop confidence, but it will also down the road help you out statistically. You gotta ask girls out, guys. You gotta ask them out. I don't care how you do; it's gonna suck at first, but you'll develop some approaches. You'll develop some cute little clever lines. Don't ask me what lines are. Don't ask me for a line. Nope. That then you're going to use the line. You need to come up with something funny and witty and quick, and then deliver it, and then expect to be rejected. I would do Day Game. If you have not read Rushvi's book Day Game, I'd recommend doing that. This could change over time. Online dating just sounds like hell. And it also seems that a lot of the online dating apps and profiles and all that services are just really for a girl to get ego satisfaction or something like that. By the time you're done setting up a profile and swiping left or right, you could have approached and asked out like 5 girls over at the local mall or something. And I really do think 80% of those online dating apps are just attention. Just attention for women. They actually have no intention of actually meeting a guy, or if a good guy approaches, it's more just the attention. So I would say 1 a day for a month. Do that. Do that for a month, and then you'll never fear about asking girls out ever again. But yeah, do Day Game. Do it in person. If you are going to go online, do 100% truth. Just like I'm looking for this traditional gal with X, Y, and Z who's not a socialist and has no student loan debt. You're going to get a lot of flack. People are going to hate on you. That's fine. That's supposed to happen. But it's going to cut through the chase. It's kind of you toss the fishing line in the water, you tie the fishing pole down, and then you go do something else. Then you come back to see if there's a fish on that line. That's about as much effort as I would put into online dating today. Do not tolerate any behavior that you would not tolerate in your friends, of your male friends or female friends, with your guy friends. Remember that beauty will blind you, especially as you're younger. You will also think that there's something that you did that was wrong, when, God almighty, guys, it was like 95 times out of 100 the girl was just messed up in the head. And we could talk about mental illness and the percent of girls today that are on some kind of psychotropic over-the-counter drug. I think a lot of it is just they got all the power and the beauty. When they're younger, men are throwing themselves at them. They get constant attention, and if you don't match their expectations, or they test you, there's shit testing. You can look that up if you want. They're gonna pick and poke to see, oh, are you a better man than the other guy? Will you stand up to me? Some of it also is they're just grade A kuwantahahas, and they're spoiled rotten brats. This is again why you never date a 9 or a 10. Now, you could go on a date with them, but you don't go long term with 9s and 10s. Aaron, how many of you dated? Don't, like, 2 or 3, not that many. Wasn't worth it. Just all of them. I really don't think it's a mental illness. I think they're just really good looking, and society spoils the ever living shit out of them. So I would not do that. But do not tolerate any behavior. If it's unacceptable behavior, and you're just like, what the hell just happened? No, done. Run. Don't even stick around. You know you didn't do anything wrong. No, it wasn't a miscommunication. She's just playing mind games. A lot of times they also get off on it. They like the drama. So you don't do that. You can have sex with liberals and date leftist women, even feminists if you'd like. But if you're looking long term, I would not even bother. Long-term dating or marriage, certainly not marriage, any gal who's to the left. There are going to be some nice women who are to the left, but me personally, I just cannot stand it where I bust my ass off and they vote to take my money away because they want to feel good giving away other people's money to other kids or other people who screwed it up. Not the kids, but the adults that screw it up. But more often than not, especially today, your leftist women are going to be definitely the indoctrinated type. They value their politics and their career more than they do love human beings. It's just not going to be worth it. So you can find, you can go ahead and date, go have fun, but long term, I would not be marrying any girl. It is possible to switch them, especially as they get older and then they have kids, and he's like, let's talk about taxes. Hey, look at this. See this? That's how much of our money we could have if you quit voting it away. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. They usually have to go through something. You usually got to get out of college and then go work in the real world a bit. But even that is not making most people wake up into the real world. I'd recommend the book The Pence Principle, especially when you're initially starting to date a girl. Speaking of politics, it's a book. I got it here. You can look it up. Written by Randall Bentwick. Basically explored Ford Kavanaugh, that debacle, and how to inoculate yourself, how to screen against women that are going to be likely to do that. Again, being leftist activist women, I think Ford Blasey was a professor in the liberal arts. Surprise, surprise. It's that kind of stuff. Just read that and make sure you don't get falsely accused of rape or anything like that. Other things such as sperm jacking, making sure that you're using condoms, or that she is on birth control, or that you have a vasectomy, because you don't want to, oops, I forgot to take the pill. This is one that I liked back when I was younger, act being poor. And not only did I act being poor, I was poor. Still am kind of poor today. But I'm a minimalist, and my 85 Cutlass Supreme screened out all the gold diggers. I'd take them out in that car. And even today I don't have nice vehicles. But I wanted to see, because I didn't have money to give them. I lived in a basement. But you don't want to be wasting your time with a gal who is only going to go out with you for your fancy car. I understand a girl who wants a guy who makes money and supports himself, has a career, but you don't want the one that's like, you got to have There are women that know go out to Waizeze. There are women that know exactly what every new model of the Mercedes or the BMW is that year, because they want to date King B. And he better have that car. So, acting poor, actually being poor, will screen them out. It's better to act poor than to be poor. Like, if you're rich or well off, don't all of a sudden give away your money. Just act poor. Trust me, it's more fun. I would totally use the likes of Seeking Arrangement, and what's the other one? These sugar daddy sites. You're going to be paying for it anyway, gentlemen. My policy on prostitution is that it's all pretty much prostitution. You are going to pay for it one way or the other. It's just instead of paying cash, you pay through dinners and your time and gifts and so. But once we switch from barter and going to cash, that somehow becomes immoral and reprehensible and illegal. But seeking arrangement, if you just need to go have sex, guys, go to Vegas. Well, don't go to Vegas. Prostitution is illegal in Clark County. Go to Amsterdam. Go outside of Vegas. Seeking arrangement, I think, seems to be the new one. That I know, God Almighty, I think half my damn friends are using that thing. A lot of these guys are good-looking dudes too. A lot of these guys like it's not does he need it. It's about saving time, is what it is. I did a podcast once. I think the average payout is $3,000 a month. You should be able to find something cheaper than that, I hope. So I know pricing may kick you guys out of that particular market. But as you get a little bit older, and you want to get your rocks off, especially if you're a virgin, how do I lose my virgin? Dude, just by the time you're like 24, 25, just go pay for it. Get it done and over with. Legally, go do it legally. But I think, unfortunately, that will be the future that is already here, is the sugar daddy type of sites. Master at least one, preferably 3 hobbies. Use puppy and little nieces and nephews. That, had I known, when I take my little nieces out, the number of women that immediately start approaching me and ask if it's mine. It's like, no, these are my nieces and nephews. And they're like, and little puppies, man. Just little puppies. So yeah, volunteer to babysit, but that is a huge door opener. Preferably date girls that are good financial shape, so no debt, no mortgage, or non-investment debt, I mean. But if they got student loans, credit card debts, all that, no feminists, no liberal arts majors, and long-term, if you want to get married and have kids, you're going to want to not date a careerist because they're going to put their career first. Unless it's one of the rare instances where you would be better off being the stay-at-home dad. Sometimes that happens, where it's best that the men stay home and be the stay-at-home father. The lingerie test, sex is very important to guys. If a girl's not willing to put on lingerie, 86er, she's out. I was almost in love one time, and the girl, everything was going great, and then she wrote me this long-ass letter about, well, one of the things that she wrote about in it was how she found it degrading that my dream was expecting her to be in lingerie serving her drinks. I'm like, thanks for warning me. I almost want to also say, fuck love. There's going to be love. But long term, does she make your life easier or harder? This would be looking for, again, wife material as you get a little bit older if you want to go down that route. Things like, is she going to make you a sandwich? Is she going to complain about you guys don't have granite countertops? Does she just get the car an oil change? Or does she complain about the oil change? Is she willing to move and go here and go there because we got to get that, or we got to save the budget? Or is she going to pout and stamp her little feet and dig her heels in? In other words, does she support you or not? Love is very nice. I would say it's definitely needed and necessary. But by God, having the support and not the questioning and confrontation of a woman, if you're in a long-term relationship, that I would say is even more important than love. And very few women have that. And that transcends politics, I know. First date, you never do anything expenses, drinks, coffee, nothing fancy, maybe cocktails if you want. While dating, the girl better at least offer to pay. I found this is Gen X women did actually do that. I will tip my hat to them. Most of the Gen X women did at least offer to pay. They may not have the money to pay. You may be insistent, no, I'll pay. But women should at least be grabbing for their wallets every once in a while as a good gesture. It's not you, it's her. If there's something wrong going on, I know I touched on this before, but if something's wrong, she's upset, it probably isn't you. Like if you can't answer, what did I do wrong? It's not you, it's her. Okay, that'll save you a lot of sanity, mental pain. You are inevitably going to have to, I hate to say, completely pull her away from her family and friends. But you're going to have to win her over to make it that you are the center of her life and no longer her friends or family. This is hard because you love your friends. You definitely probably love your family. You're genetically attached to your family. But, my God, the number of mother-in-law questions. Or my parents are doing it. Her parents want this, and she wants to go live back home. Or my favorite, this happens a lot, is I want to move back home by my parents. And so I've known more than one set of family where they're in a nice place like Florida or Arizona, and then the wife misses her parents. She wants to move back closer to us. So they move back to cold-ass fuck Minnesota. Because of the schools, I want to see my parents. No. You inevitably, not that day, you have to earn her love and respect. You inevitably, you guys as a team, inevitably must become the center of her life as well down the road. So inevitably, you're going to have to pull her from her friends, of which most friends today are not worth it. You get that knitting group going on. The family can also be toxic. The amount of broken homes out there, and the amount of, this is not the World War II generation raising. This is young baby boomers and Gen Xers now. Both make very low-grade parents in general. So I've seen parents, family members try to want to control their daughters more than what's in their best interests. You got to hold her to standards. Do not let anything slip. Yes, we're working out. No, we're not eating ho-hos, that kind of thing. Yes, you are wearing lingerie. And no materialist or spendy women. Like if she has to have a Prada, it pays to find out what a Prada bag is and what shoes are. Or just ask them, like, how much does that bag cost? And if that bag was anything over, I'll be generous to say $1,000. I'd probably like $200 for me. But if there's this design, she has to have designer clothes. She has to have a really nice car. Remember, one girl wouldn't go out with me because my car wasn't as nice enough. They have to go to fancy restaurants all the time. Yeah, man, that's not worth it. No, you want to go run the other way. Now, there's many, 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 many other rules and policies, I'm sure, for dating women. I'm sure some of you men will have some comments down below. But that's generally it, is you got to put yourself first. You got to deliver women what they want through self-improvement. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to also hold her to standards. No, you're not wrong. You're going to play games. And look for just, dating, you can date whoever you want. Dating is no problem. You can date as many women of whatever type you want. But if you want something more long-term, that's where it gets a little bit harder. And that's where trainability, which I hate to say that word, but holding them to standards, her supporting you and not fighting you, family, look at the family. Is she putting you first in life and you her? This is, again, down the road. But that would also lead to, now while you're 24, I know you're all about hormones and dating and having fun and getting laid, but trust me, the good gals that they're out there, they're going to get picked off now because they're starting to get into the late 20s. Some of them do know tickety-tock. Some of them are high-quality gals. So I would keep your eyes peeled for a good quality girl. I know your eyes are naturally going to go to 9s and 10s, which as a policy you should not even tolerate. Don't even bother dating them. You can if you want, but I wouldn't. You must also develop a good eye for quality wife material and start looking for that as well. And so it's not always apparent. But yeah, no debts, no liberal arts degrees, has a job or a career, but isn't going to put that above fellow human beings. That sort of stuff. So, all right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.